What's going on, guys? Welcome to Looking Ahead to Beto Days. I am Chris.
And I'm Ryan.
And we're super fucking bummed.
Yeah.
There's no good.
There's no other way to say it. Disappointed.
It's really heartbreaking. In fact, we are.
Well, okay. Let's start. Where'd you find out? How'd you find out?
I was fucking driving.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had to go do something, and I got in my car and I was driving. I'm listening to CNN.
Yeah.
As I do, I'll flip through whatever here and there.
Yeah.
But when I flipped it back to CNN, they were talking about all of the Beto signs. And I was like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. That's great. Look at all the presidents they've got. And then the next thing out of their mouth was, yeah, it's just too bad he dropped out. And I was like, bullshit. And then I called Ryan. And I was like, we were like, what the fuck do we do?
Yeah.
He was there. He's in Iowa. He's in Iowa right now.
I came down for the Liberty and Justice celebration. We were out there doing our thing all this morning. I was recording stuff for the podcast. I got an interview with somebody who we're going to put on the podcast later. You know, just got finished with that interview. The staff said because they broke us up from the. We were out there doing our cheering, and staff broke us up and said, okay, meet back down at the base, at the base camp at 4:30. So went and did my interview with Charlie, went down to base camp and was just kind of hanging out. And a Washington Post reporter walked up to me asking for a reaction to Beto dropping out. And I was like, what are you talking about? That's how I found out.
That's so fucking Post terrible.
Reporter. And, oh, man, the scene down there was, a lot of tears, and of course, anybody who was showing even just a little bit of tears had a camera pointed right at them. So, like, half the people were crying, other half people were, like, blocking cameras to keep people from doing their thing. So
yeah, fucking vultures, man. Like, for real. Like, I get. I
ended up doing like 4 TV interviews on that out there.
You know how it says under your name? Oh shit! I just hit my table. That's what that noise was. Remember, guys,
I didn't hear anything.
Podcast. So when you were like, your name pops up on the screen and it's like Ryan Holiday, and then under your name it says like something, like it tells what you are. Did yours say "Looking Ahead to Beto Days"?
No,
because that would have been some great press.
I wish it did. Unfortunately, I think it was more like I got 2 words, which was "I'm disappointed," which basically sums it up. I mean,
exactly.
I was telling somebody this earlier. I know a lot of people are sad, and I know a lot of people are legitimately upset about this. And to me, I look at it this way. And maybe I'm just wired differently, because I didn't get sad. I didn't get upset. I didn't get angry. I was disappointed because the result wasn't what I wanted. But at the end of the day, we did good work, and we did work that mattered, and we did work that made a difference, and we made a difference, and we can't say we didn't make a difference. We did 100% made a difference. And like, I can't be sad about that. That's not something I could be sad about, what we accomplished. So yeah, I mean,
yeah. No, 100%, dude. I was talking.
I'm not sad. I'm just disappointed in the result.
I was talking to a guy that we've met through the Beto universe. His name is Walker, who I think listens to the show. So shout out to Walker. And we were like, we can be proud of what we did. Like, we've done so much. Like, we've all come out of our comfort zones. We made this podcast.
Exactly.
I've gotten signatures. It got me off my ass.
I mean, I'm here in a house with about 15 Beto supporters here, and just going around the room and talking to people like, I'm a germaphobe, and I opened up my house to let other people come in so I could host events. Or, I'm an introvert and suddenly I'm making phone calls. Or someone I flew down here, first time she's been on a plane and flew in 20 years. First time, because she has a special needs child who takes a lot of care, and she, was able to come away for this. People put in some real, blood, sweat, and tears into this campaign. And
absolutely. And that's kind of what we're doing. Go ahead.
I said, but we did it because we believed in it. And I think
absolutely,
in part to remember of all this is that,
and
we believe.
and we still believe in it, and that's the best thing. Like me and Ryan, like I called him, we came up with the statement we were going to put out because we had to put out something, and then we were like, the first thing I think I said to him after that, I was like, I want to keep doing this. We've got to keep doing. We've got to.
Yeah, we've already been, just the folks here have been brainstorming different things we can get involved in. I mean,
He gave us the path. Like I said this earlier on Twitter. Basically, he gave us the path, and it feels like somebody just shut the lights off on us, but our eyes are going to adjust, and we can light that room back up.
Yeah, there's no reason not to. I mean, think about that's the one thing that's nice about a grassroots campaign is that this is all people for, all people. So there have been a lot of personal connections made. A lot of people, even if it's, online or on Twitter or whatever, there's a lot of personal connections that have been made. Those remain.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that was one of the big things I was seeing in the DMs was like, nobody leave. We've got to stay here. We still have a job to do.
Yeah.
Like, all of us have to, we have so much work to do. We've only just begun.
Exactly. I mean, and I see people asking, well, who are you going to support for president? It's like, it's not even about that anymore. You're asking me to pick a candidate. I mean, I'm not going to.
Exactly. That's where I'm at.
It's not even that it's like, it's not even that it's too early. It's that Beto was such a unique candidate that, saying I'm going to support somebody else just wouldn't be the same. Yeah.
I can't imagine going out and volunteering for anybody else. Like I thought about this earlier. I could go and be like hand out pamphlets and stuff, and the person be like, "Oh, so tell me what you like about Amy Klobuchar." I don't know. She seems all right. She had a good debate. Right. And she's not Beto O'Rourke, but and that's not a slight to Amy. I don't take it in any way, shape, or form like that. But my whole life became this. My family got involved. My kid is the Beto baby. Like he was the OG Beto baby. Right. It's ingrained. Like people know who my kid is. Right. And we all are in each other's lives, and it's not like anything I've ever been a part of.
I agree. I mean, we were talking to some of the Iowa staff up here. Like, they say, we've been doing, we've volunteered or worked for other staff campaigns. Nobody has the kind of supporters who are going to fly in from all over the country on their own dime. Maybe the campaign might bust some people in, but nobody's going to do it like this.
Never. It'll never happen again. Beto. Exactly. That's what Beto brings out, and that's what's made me so enamored with this campaign, and it's what has led us. I mean, to each other.
Yep.
I have nothing but love in my heart for every single one of you guys. It's fucking fantastic.
Well, that's why we say we got to stick together after all this. I mean, what we built was just too beautiful to let it just fade away.
Exactly.
We can't. We really can't. So, take the principle. We get enamored with Beto as the man, but really it's the principle. Like, it's the principles.
It's the idea of the thing. It's Beto not, the idea.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not. And now you should say this. We aren't really enamored because we recognize that, he's a good man. He's a good person. He does all those things, but the ideals and principles that he supports are what really pushes it.
It became so much more than about him.
It's not about him. It's about what he stood for. That's what we need to continue to stand for and continue to fight for.
Exactly. Betoism. It's Betoism. It's what it is. It's Betoism. And it's an idea that everybody can buy into. It doesn't matter who you are. It encompasses all of us. Exactly. And we can all enact change. And he's not done. And he's going to need us again because there's still gun violence. There's still problems with immigrants being locked in cages. And he's going to need us to show out when the government is doing things it shouldn't. And he's going to lead. He's still going to lead. He's going to do something. And even if it's to run in or be in somebody's cabinet or run as a running mate, which I've got. I mean, I have my own theories on that.
Well, let's go into that. Well, I mean, let's talk about that. Is
one. Fuck it, let's do it.
I mean, the big. I have heard rumblings that there has been some talk between Beto and Kamala.
I'd be about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to. Although I will have to say that Kamala's currently having issues with her own campaign, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, I don't know if you saw, she just got finished firing like 75% of her staff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, think about it this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you were a candidate for president and you know that Beto supporters are all heart and they're not just going to go to anybody, and you want to get all of that because, polls are one thing, but he's got a fuck ton of supporters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Well,
my.
yeah, he just shot to the top of everybody's VP right now. I mean, he left the race early enough that he still has incredibly high favorables.
Yep.
He still has solid support in Texas. Now, I've always said this, that just putting him on the ticket doesn't deliver Texas. You still are going to have to fight for Texas, and it's still going to take the campaign investing in it. But he's a good start.
Absolutely.
He's not a shoe-in, but he's a start.
I mean, if you're the 96 Bulls, you're not going to bench Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. And it's the Harris thing I think that has a lot of weight to it, because
that, or Biden also is another thought, I guess, if you wanted to think about potential running mates that you could be attracted to him.
My issue with Biden is, I think they'll go away from your standard white man.
Possibly.
That I see being a thing.
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing, though. If you think that works against you, we'll see. I don't know that if it does or doesn't really.
I mean, it might not. I'm just saying, like I had heard that in the universe, the Twitterverse, if you will, as a thing. I heard, I read the same thing about Bernie.
Exactly. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And then frankly, there's a lot of other things to care about instead.
Absolutely.
My head's currently at, like, maybe we need to start really thinking more about fixing. One of Beto's big themes was fixing our democracy. Maybe that's really what we should start focusing on, is voter suppression issues. What's Stacey Abrams' group? Fair Fight. That's a good organization that maybe we could start doing stuff with.
Absolutely. Beto supporters would be great at that. I'll give you an example. I had texted Marcel last night, and I was like, I said, hey, is there anything we can do to help you? We know you have your election on Tuesday. What can I do? And he texted me today. He's like, we need people to make calls. And I said, I'm on it. First thing I did was I dropped it in a Beto DM. And Brenda Jurgens picked it up and was like, I'm on it. And I know Brenda crushed that. And I know she got a bunch of people on it, because Beto supporters are they're good people.
Yeah,
and we are hard workers. We're the hardest. I guarantee you, we're the hardest working volunteers in politics. I've seen one Pete supporter at any event, and it's been the same one. She's a nice lady. She's wonderful. But every event I've ever been at, there's multiple Beto supporters.
Yeah.
It's just plain and simple. That's how it is.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, that we'll see what happens. There's lots of things. Fair Fight. There's another organization we were talking about, Represent Us, which they go around. They work with state legislatures to pass anti-corruption measures. Campaign financing, anti-gerrymandering measures, things like that. There's a lot of stuff to do. Like, the fight isn't over, so we just need to kind of figure out what the next step is.
No, absolutely. We got to, as a group, we got to come together and say, all right,
and we got to stick together. That's the big thing. There's going to be a lot of people trying to pull us away and come do this. No, we really need to we got to stick together.
Yeah, you've seen some of that, and you've seen some of the peripherals fall off, which is fine. Like, that's your prerogative, but I think you're going to see a lot of the core of us. Like, we're really ingrained, because we're a really tight knit family, and like everybody checks in on everybody. And in the email I showed you, so we're working on some stuff. At the time of this recording, we don't know where we're at, so I'm not going to say anything as of yet. But I had talked to somebody in the Beto community, and when I talked to them, they said, "You guys were the first guys that I thought of, because you guys worked really, really hard at this." And we fucking have, but like we all thought about each other.
Yeah, that's the thing,
It's a dude. I am so proud of all of us and just how much love there is in this campaign and with
it's
us.
been amazing. I mean, just the quality of people that you've interacted with out here. It's amazing. It really is. And it's not only that, but also to feel like I'm included in that too. Like that's just kind of humbling almost,
Right? Like Katrina, who is the queen of ballot petitions. Anybody who can get her, she's wonderful. I adore Katrina. She talked to Beto, and he had talked about the people who got ballot petitions in Virginia, and he called us the heroes of Virginia. Like he thinks about, like, we're all one. Like when I've seen him, because I've met him 3 different times, and like I know Kevin, 5 degrees of separation to Kevin Bacon. Like I know a couple people away from him.
Yeah.
Like so we're all in kind of contact, and it's just like he was one of the people. He's just one of the guys hanging out. Like it was all of us. It was never just him. He was like our voice.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
And that's amazing.
So what?
Betoism, man, Betoism.
Yeah. So what do you think about the timing of all this and like the announcement itself?
I find it kind of sketch. So you guys don't know, and I'm going to throw it out there now. I received a fake text message this week of somebody claiming to be Beto that it name dropped my son, knew I was in Virginia, it's like all this crazy stuff. Whatever.
To your personal cell phone.
To my personal cell phone.
That isn't given out.
That isn't out fucking anywhere, because I have stuff for the podcast. I mean, yeah, all that other information would have been something from our Twitter or my Twitter, but we passed that up, and it got sent to the FBI and all that good stuff. And I don't know, man. They started going after volunteers, and I'm not going to name people, but there were 4 of us who received them. And that's scary. So I mean, the timing is weird, especially with a lot of the stuff they were doing. I'm not going to conspiracy theory this out too much and give too much credence to anything. It's just devastating. Anytime it could have been any time.
Yeah, I've definitely heard the speculation about potential security threats. Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of those things where, or maybe threats towards his family or something. I think there's a certain amount to be expected of that. And so you're kind of inoculated against some of that. But I do think that there becomes a threshold where it's just not worth it anymore.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think I told you this, but there was a back at the rally against fear in Dallas. Afterwards, Beto gave a little speech to all of the supporters, and he dropped a little line there that a lot of people picked up, and I just kind of dismissed because I was like, you guys might be reading too much into it. But he kind of said, kind of hinted at no matter how much longer this lasts, be it a couple of days, weeks, months, years, whatever. And a lot of people kind of picked up on like, what do you mean a couple of days or weeks? And personally, I think he kind of had a threshold in his mind where, this is taking this toll on my family. I'm not seeing the results that I expect, which, however you gauge those results. The fundraising's not coming in, being a big key part of it. And faced with the decision of laying off half his staff or, just go ahead and finishing, you just hit that threshold where, this is the threshold. If the threshold is, I'm going to have to start laying off staff and go to a, really tight campaign, then it's not worth it anymore. So I think something like that may have happened where, and then in that scenario, you sprint to the finish. You know, you campaign, you keep campaigning, you campaign hard, you're harder, just, you know, so you just leave it all on the table. So that's why he picked up all his events and did a whole bunch of events this week. Just, you know, leave it all out there. Don't, you know, don't,
Leave it all on the table.
yep,
And
don't,
you know what?
yep,
Every fucking one of us has.
exactly.
We can attest to that. And you know, I get that. You know,
So,
when I got
I
that
don't know.
text message and I passed, I just happened to have a staffer staying with me because I was housing one of the staffers when we were doing ballot
Yeah.
petitions, and I got that text message and name dropped my kid. Like whether I used it on Twitter or not, that's okay for me to do. But don't do shit like that. Don't try to scare me.
No, I agree.
I would
It's bad.
I would attack the gates of hell with a fucking slingshot for my kid. You don't fuck with my kid. Let me make that very clear. So it is what it is. Whatever.
Yeah.
But so talk about you've mentioned that you were at this house. Like, did you have anybody around you? Can you shout for somebody? Let's get some other people involved. Fuck it, man. Let's like.
Donna, come here. All right.
Hi, Donna. Are you gonna?
She's not here yet. Not here yet. She's walking over.
Oh, okay.
No, I got headphones. I have to hand her the headphones. Hold on 1 second.
Hi.
Hi. What's up? Hey, Donna.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. This is Chris. I know it's weird to not read the words that I say, but we wanted to like touch base with everybody over there. How's it going?
Oh, well, we're working through the various levels of grief, and
Yeah.
everybody has their different methods, so it's quite interesting watching the room. But you know, we're coming back up, and some of us are getting organized, and others are just maybe a step behind. They're still working through their loss yesterday, and but we're all going to be back up on our feet and move as a unit and refocus. And one of my ideas is to get behind a couple organizations. One called Fair Fight, which is Stacey Abrams' voter suppression organization, and the other one is Represent Us, and that organization is all about getting dark money out of politics, and it's all of them are nonpartisan, so anybody can belong, Republican, Independent, or Democrat. So those are my two ideas. I'm trying to give people hope that there is a future for our group, and so that's sort of what I've been doing all day.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's fantastic. That's what me and Ryan were just talking about. That now we need to, like, we have this huge movement um, of people that we can put to a lot of really good. We could do a lot of good. Like, Beto
Exactly.
volunteers and supporters are the hardest working people on the fucking planet, man.
Well, we have the most passion. Let's just say that.
Absolutely.
And
There's definitely a lot of heart here. So like we would talk about like getting it behind something else. We actually had mentioned Fair Fight and Represent Us. So that's 3 different people who've said it. So we're going to tag them later for their publicity, which is awesome because those are, both of them are fantastic. Voter
Right.
suppression was something that really shouldn't exist anymore, but it does. So we've got to
Exactly.
do something about it.
right.
That's
We have to
fantastic.
Yeah, we have to fix democracy before we can really make the change that Beto has started here. So we need to go back to the state levels and the state legislature and the governor's seats and work bottom up
Absolutely.
and counter what the Republicans have done over the last 30 years.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We got to like down ticket ballots. We've got to be working at that too. We've got a lot of big elections on Tuesday.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But thank you for popping on.
You're so welcome.
Thanks for being here.
Passing the headphones off to the next one.
All right, let's go.
And that was Donna Compton. Let me see if I can grab it.
Yeah, let's grab some more people.
Elle.
Just keep pulling people.
This is going to be Elle, also aka Big Salad Knife.
Oh, awesome.
Let me get her over here. Have a seat.
Okay, what am I doing?
Put the headphones on. Say hi to Chris.
Hi.
Hey, what's going on?
Not a whole lot. Just I'm in Iowa and I'm about to leave for Kansas City.
Awesome. Wait, which one?
Missouri, I think.
Awesome.
I think that's where my hotel is booked.
Cool. So, how's it going? We're kind of like pulling everybody on and getting how everybody's feeling. And I know Donna has mentioned, what we're gonna do next. Where are you at?
I am as committed as I've ever been to this fight, because I see it as a fucking fight, and the thing I've been talking to with other people in the house about is that this has never really been about Beto. It's about Beto has been a vehicle, right? And like he speaks for me, and he speaks for so many people who have just not had a voice before, and that's what like was so disappointing about this is that our voices got just disregarded or just mocked, and like every time Beto got tore down or just ignored, I took it personally because it wasn't about Beto, it was about me, because Beto was he was representing my voice, right? He heard my voice and tried to reflect that in his message, and so that's where I'm at right now. I don't see this as over.
Oh, absolutely not. And again, me and Ryan were just saying that same thing, and like, because it wasn't about Beto. Beto was really kind of like our bullhorn. He amplified all of us from where we were nationwide. And it's like a movement, and I dubbed it Betoism. I want that to stick because it sounds awesome.
Oh yeah,
but, like the whole movement behind him and what he's brought out of it. Like I started a podcast out of my in-laws' living room.
Exactly.
It opened me up to shit I've never done before.
Yeah, and it was because Beto and the people around Beto inspired you to do that. And I was just talking about like coming up to Iowa. Like I came up to Iowa.
No one goes to fucking Iowa.
Like I have been scared of even going in my car and stopping at a like if I don't know the location, I don't go and use the bathroom because I'm trans, and I'm just scared that somebody's gonna give me shit. And because Beto just was a fighter, and he was all about rejecting the fear, I got convinced that, I didn't get convinced. I just decided to say, fuck the fear. Fuck the fear. I'm going to go to Iowa. I'm going to drive through these states who I hear awful things about. And I'm just going to do it because, I can't let my fears rule my life, and I've heard so many other people say that same kind of sentiment where they feel as though Beto has made them a better person because his message was all about lifting people up. It wasn't about any specific policy or ideology. It was all about the rest of us, right? The people who have just been disregarded by the system by intent. And it's working as designed, and that's why he's out of the race.
Absolutely.
I
looked at the money that big media has made since Donald Trump, has been in office or running, and it's stupid. Their revenue went up $100 million. So yeah, no, it makes sense to like put out real threats or pick
Yeah.
a candidate. I and I get it to an extent, but it takes a little bit out of the democracy, and
Oh,
that's why
yeah.
I think so many of us we're so pissed off, is because we never felt like we got a fair shake.
Exactly. He never got a fair shake by the party or the media, and I don't like, just blaming shit and make it like, because it really, like, people are like, oh, you're just making excuses. You're just making excuses, and it's no. He never got a fair shake. He wasn't even given a fair break, and that's like, he's been up against the fucking wall, and despite all of that, he was still polling at 2-3%. They couldn't kill him. Like, they couldn't kill him completely. They tried, but it didn't shy me away. It just made me dig in harder to supporting him.
Absolutely. I think a lot of Beto supporters are like that. We're very tenacious.
Mm-hmm.
It is man, it has been a privilege getting to know so many different types of people too.
Exactly.
It's brought so many people together.
I'm
It's
grateful.
awesome.
I'm fucking grateful for that, and that's what it's about. That's what this has all been about for me. It's like the connections I've made and the just stories I've heard that I just never, from people different than me and how they see things, and that, like, it's not about the politics. Like, this is about the future of our country, and Beto is somebody that his whole way of doing politics is so unorthodox, and it's always been about breaking down those barriers and the red tape from access into the democracy and into the system. And I feel like too many people just see those barriers from actual people having a voice in the system. Too many people benefit from those barriers to make them change. And,
Oh, absolutely.
and that's the fucked up thing is like, Beto is super accessible. I always felt like if I really had something that I needed to relay to Beto, I could do it, and that message would get to him. Because I saw him do it. I saw him directly respond to people going through some shit, and I don't see any other politician doing the kind of shit he's doing.
Absolutely not.
He's
I was in the room in Fairfax when Odessa happened, and just the raw emotion was just stunning, and just the way he treated people. It's been it's really changed a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
But thank you so much for taking the time out. I know you guys are having a good time over there.
Oh yeah, I'm about to hit the road. I've got a hotel booked in Kansas City that I've got to be at sometime tonight, but I'm just enjoying. I don't want to leave. I really want to leave. I don't want, this isn't over. And,
Absolutely not.
I want to fight for Beto because he fucking fought for me. He gave me a voice, and I'm gonna use that voice now. And I don't think it's gonna be realized what's going on, the movement he's building, until later on when it's all in full view. But this is bigger than Beto, and that's just kind of been what's been the message throughout this house that we're all staying at, is that this wasn't Beto's fucking awesome, and he's a good dude, but this support him because of any specific policy. I support him because the people he's brought into the fold and the people he's given a voice to. I've had this opportunity to meet and get to know some really fucking amazing people that I just wouldn't know otherwise. And I'm so glad that I came up to Iowa. I'm so glad that, you know, I'm a part of this, and whatever happens tomorrow, that's tomorrow. Right now, I'm happy. I'm happy that Beto's voice, he's still going to be around.
Yep, we still got shit to do.
Oh yeah,
100%.
But yeah, this has been awesome. I love y'all's podcast.
I appreciate it.
We're gonna keep fucking doing this shit. Like, I'm not giving up. I've been saying it all night, all day, even before today. I'm a fucking Betocrat, and I feel like the two-party system does us all a fucking disservice. And really, big picture, that's what needs to be the goal, is just, you know, yeah, Trump sucks. He needs to be removed from office. But the bigger goal and the bigger problem is the two-party system. The party fucking the establishment that all they care about is achieving and retaining power. And they don't care about the actual issues, the actual people that their policies are going to affect. They care about what they can do to get enough support that they can get reelected or get elected. And that's, they view things through this fucking perverse lens. And Beto was never about that. Beto just spoke his mind. And I really, you know, I'm going to speak my mind too, because that's the effect Beto had on me. And I'm tired of just being quiet. I'm not gonna shut up about this. But yeah, I'll end the interview with that.
No, you're good. Yeah. No, we're definitely keeping this going. So don't even worry. You've definitely not heard the last of Looking Ahead to Beto Days. We have so much more to do. Mm-hmm. Trust.
This isn't over.
Absolutely not. There's still a big fight ahead of us. You're right. It's not just about the man in the White House, and it definitely it's not. It wasn't about Beto. It's about what he built and the community he built and what was built around him.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing that, like, I've been seeing this like notion of vote blue no matter who, vote blue no matter what, vote blue, and that kind of reductive shit is like, to me, it's so insulting, because it's like, y'all aren't even paying attention. Y'all just know Trump is bad, and like, I don't have to accept shit because the alternative is pure evil, right? And that's what I was trying to do by supporting Beto, is like, here's a candidate who represents all, like, pretty much all the shit I believe in. And he's speaking to those issues. And, you know, I want to vote for that, right? I don't want to vote for whatever just because they're a Democrat. That's not how it should be. We should have candidates who represent our values and be able to vote on those values, and not just be like, well, the alternative is Trump. If you don't just mindlessly support whoever the nominee is going to be and tune out the rest of the shit, you're a bad person. No, I don't subscribe to that shit. No. I'm not going to accept shit just because the alternative is worse. And
South Park did a whole episode on that. It's the episode with the shit sandwich in the douche or something like that. You know, do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. That was in the Hillary shit, and the Democrats are still playing into that shit. And it's like, just give us a reason to vote. Beto gave me a reason to vote. Beto gave me a reason to fucking do all this shit. And, you know, all he's gotten for those efforts has been disdain. I'm on the record in the Washington Post saying, you know, Democrats have given nothing but contempt to him and his supporters. And it's like, what was so bad about him? Why did y'all have to do this? And they're like, well, vote blue no matter who. No, fuck that. Like,
Fuck that.
I don't know who I'm gonna support now. I'll vote blue because that's just what I do, but I'm not gonna do the amount of fucking work that I did for any other candidate because they haven't earned that from me, and that's what it's about for me. Beto earned my dedication because he like repeatedly showed that he was doing it for the right reasons, and that's what wins me over, and that's what won a lot of, like, I think all of us over is
Agreed.
He fought and you know, he was winning people over towards the end that I like never expected him to win over. Like, I had so many friends tell me, you know, because a lot of people support, like, they like what Democrats say, but they don't trust Democrats because they're so used to the lip service, right? They're so used to Democrats being like, well, blah, 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 but then not fighting. And Beto fought, and Beto kept fighting, and that was winning people over. They just didn't get reflected in the polls.
The polls are shit. I'll say that. I'll be the guy. Polls are shit.
Everything's shit. This whole primary is shit. Like, they're making it just this false choice, and I don't have to accept it. Other people can. I'm not, like, you know, whatever. But yeah, I'll end on that.
Absolutely. Have a safe travels to Kansas City.
Thank you, and it was so good talking with you, and you know, this isn't over.
Absolutely not.
Like, I'm more committed now than ever. I want to fight. I would specifically want to fight Pete Buttigieg. If you know where he is, just let me know, and I'll go tell him that he ain't shit. Pete Buttigieg is never gonna be president. But yet he gets hyped like he's the shit. Pete ain't shit. And that's all. I'm gonna end with that.
Pete ain't shit. That's a good one.
Buttigieg ain't shit. Oh,
Pete
man.
ain't shit. Okay, well, it was good talking with you.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. You are hard to hear now, so I'm gonna have to turn your voice up.
Oh, well, that's because away from the mic, I'm standing up.
No, it's awesome, man. Who else you got?
Let's go. Jacqueline.
I'm here, Beto. I love all of y'all.
This is gonna be like an hour and a half long. I hope listeners, this is for you. We're pulling everybody in candidly, reacting to how they feel about this shit.
So Jacqueline is one of our crazy motherfuckers who travels all over the place.
Chris on it?
Yes, it's Chris. Have a seat.
Hi, Chris.
Oh, let me hand her the.
Hi, Jacqueline.
Here.
Hi.
How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So we are getting kind of like where everybody's at. So like, where are you at? Like, how are you feeling?
I don't know. Right now I'm okay. But there's definitely, it's like a roller coaster.
Yeah. Nope. Absolutely. I went to bed last night and like. I had I guess it hadn't really processed this morning or told this morning, and I was just kind of like, ugh, I don't know what to do now. And I said this earlier, like I don't think I could volunteer for anybody else. Like nobody inspires me to do as much work as I did for Beto. I mean, I did the fucking Virginia ballot petitions.
No.
Let me tell you about the Virginia ballot petitions.
It was crazy. I know. I heard.
It was bullshit.
I know. We were driving to Indiana on Monday to go to South Bend on election day. Then I was headed to Seattle for doing more ballot petitions, and then I was gonna go to a fundraiser back to Long Beach and Vegas. It was crazy. Like
That is a lot of traveling.
the rest of the year was like planned for me, and New Year's Eve. Like I was gonna go to, because January 2nd is when New York was gonna release like the ballots, and I was like, all right, New Year's Eve in New York City, which has always been a dream of mine, and I was like, it's happening.
I'm sorry to do this to you. My birthday is December 31st. So my dream was always to go to New York City.
New York City.
And then I heard people talking about it. Like, you have to be in there for like 8 hours and you cannot leave.
It's crazy. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. More power to you. Go for it.
Yeah.
I'm past that stage in my life. Like, right? I'm old. I'm older. I'm old-ish. 33 is oldish, right? Yeah, no, not anymore. I will watch it on TV and be content.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So
right now, every day, every morning, afternoon, night, every day has just been Beto. So I don't know. It's like, what do we do? What do I do tomorrow? I don't have a flight out. I don't have a lease anymore in LA. So I've literally just been traveling. You know, because that's how much I believed in Beto and this campaign, and was going to do everything I could in my power to make sure he was elected. So it's a little, I guess, there's endless opportunities. So
it's heartbreaking.
yeah, it's definitely heartbreaking. The tears have not stopped.
Yeah, no, it doesn't sound like it, because I mean, I know you've been at just about everything me and Ryan have been a part of, and that's dedication, and that's what you get out of Beto supporters. Like, we're the hardest working motherfuckers on the planet.
Yeah,
no doubt.
It's really incredible too, just traveling, and I've been to 7 states for Beto in this campaign, but meeting people, but then seeing everyone at these rallies or town halls or events, and like, we represent the country. We represent every age and genre, and it was just such a diverse group. It's who this country is, and that, I think, just says a lot.
It's definitely brought a lot of just different types of people. I know I grew up in a teeny tiny town where literally everybody looked like me. So I've moved out and done all sorts of stuff, but really, like, my personal circle became so much more diverse because of this campaign. Mm-hmm. And I am so much a better person for it. Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the beautiful things that we can take from this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, time, it's going to take time, but I know for sure this is just the beginning. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a movement. It's so much bigger than I think I tweeted this out earlier. It's so much bigger than just us. It's all of us.
Yeah.
It's a being. Betoism, man. It's like the 5th time I've said it in this podcast. I swear to God, it's gonna stick. It's gonna be in Webster's, and I'm gonna have come up with the word Betoism.
Betoism. I love it.
That's gonna be my claim to fame.
Totally.
Dude in in-laws living room comes up with lasting word that makes Webster's dictionary. I'm here for it.
Yeah. Awesome.
But thank you so much for coming on and giving us some commentary.
Yes, thank you, Chris, for everything, you and Ryan and everyone. So
yeah, thank you for what you did, man. You went everywhere.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'll see you.
You did a fuck ton of work.
Thank you. I'll see you down the road.
Absolutely. Down the road.
Yes. All right. Talk soon.
All right. Bye.
All right.
Oops, I got my
What
phone
was
on
that?
the thing. That was my phone on the table. You know what's funny is I think like because like you and I are used to doing this, people don't know how to end an interview, and it's really funny. So
It's
I'm
like
just
a
like
phone
letting
call.
them. It's like they're doing it like a phone call. Oh man,
That's awesome. Yeah, it's funny. You're getting the different stages of grief here, basically.
yeah, exactly. Just mad, sad, everything.
Everything.
Hey, you know what? I think me and you have had like I got upset earlier. I was like, and it's
Yeah.
mostly like I don't know what to do with my life, but like, and I knew we needed to keep this going.
Yeah,
Like, we've
absolutely.
made a big difference. We have a big following, and you know, have you had anybody ask you or tell you you've got to keep this going?
Oh, we've definitely. I've told everybody we're gonna do something. We're not gonna let this stop.
No.
So
We've come too
Well, hold
far.
on. Let me see if I can get some more people on though. For sure. We
Oh
got
yeah, absolutely.
full of people. Hold on one second.
Hey, I was giving us witty between person banter.
Or we could just edit it all out.
No, fuck it. We're leaving it in there. We leave everything in. I'm leaving my
sounds great.
phone drop.
Perfect. Hold on. Let's see if we can. Jess. Huh? Do you have to? We got dead air.
Alright.
Have a seat.
Wait, this looks like a lie detector test.
No, just have a seat. Put this on and say hi to Chris.
Okay, alright, wait. Alright, so what am I gonna have to do?
Just say hi.
Hello?
Hi. It is 100% a lie detector test. This is all a trick.
This is scary. Or it almost feels like you can't see this, but it looks like an electric chair.
That's fucking terrifying. What the hell are y'all doing over there?
Listen, just trust me to bring it to the terrifying level always.
I'm here for it. I love all things terrifying. So how's it going? How are you feeling? Like where are you at with everything that's going on in the last 2 days? I mean, you guys came from fucking everywhere to Iowa. Nobody goes to Iowans. Most likely don't want to be in Iowa. Like Iowa.
Well, I had the universe telling me not to go to Iowa because I had my first plane at 5 a.m. yesterday get deplaned and there was emergency maintenance. And so then I tried to get on another plane and there wasn't a captain. And so then I was going to miss my connecting flight to Charlotte. And then, like, I literally tried 15 different ways. And the 16th way got me to Des Moines. And I literally arrived in Des Moines 5 minutes before the campaign ended.
That's crazy. Actually, I think I heard about that. Somebody told me
Yeah.
that. Like, we were literally getting people off of planes right now. Like, I'd heard about, because I've been in kind of contact. That's one of the crazy things about having been a part of this campaign is being weirdly connected. It's like a ladder
Yes,
or a
yes.
hierarchy.
Yes. It's roots, man. It's trees. It's all the trees, and like trees all talk to each other. They communicate through the roots. And like that's what we are. We're like these seeds that were planted and we just keep growing out and our roots are overlapping, but yet we can all communicate because like we literally have all joined into this space, this campaign for the same reason. Because like we're the people who have been counted out. We're the people whose voices haven't ever been elevated. We're the people who never thought we could have a place here. And yet we've all been these seeds and we've been like watering ourselves and planting ourselves in our different spaces. And I'm just realizing, hold on for 1 second, that the hands that I'm doing right now, look, do you see my Beto hands? Do you see my Beto hands? They're just, like I almost wish I had like Super Mario gloves on or something. All darkness and it's crazy hands that are happening. But anyway, we've been in our own little places, like watering our seeds, like doing our crafts, making our things happening. And then there was this thing that we're just like, wait a second, we are all connected. And so, yeah, like we know everything that's going on with everybody. It's been crazy. So yeah, people do, wait, where's Jess? Why isn't Jess, like she's been on 15 planes to try to get here. And yet,
That's fucking dedication, by the way.
But it is, and something just kept telling me, like, you have got to get to Iowa. Like, you have got to get to Iowa. And I got here, and it was like, I immediately knew why. It's like if I had to experience this without everybody, like there's no way we would have all been in the same space. Like with
No, and you needed that.
yeah. Like and just to also get us to like take the next step.
Yeah, I was in a car by myself and heard it on CNN.
I hate that. I hate that. I hate that you were in a car by yourself.
Yeah.
Like I literally, I'm like, I want to go and just,
in a
like,
Burlington
take that...
Coat Factory parking lot.
No. Oh no.
It was the first place that I could find. It was right there.
Dude.
Yeah. Playing "Everybody Hurts" by REM.
Oh no.
No, I'm just fucking with you. That would be
Please don't, because that song is illegal. That song, "Everybody Hurts" by REM, is an illegal song that should never be played in the course of the world ever. Like, oh, okay, yes, but that's what this is actually. We are literally living in an REM song. Like,
yeah, yes, we are.
But
weirdly,
we are though. It's like it's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Like the in-between spaces of Texarkana, like losing my religion. Literally, this whole campaign is an REM song, and like that's. But here's where we are right now. So I'm gonna tell you what REM song we're at right now is. Is Drive. We are in Drive right now. Because
go on. I don't think I've heard that one.
Drive is on everybody. It's on Automatic for the People. You know it. I'm not gonna sing it. I might sing it, but I'm not gonna sing it. But Drive is the video where Michael Stipe it's black and white, and he's crowd surfing. This is he's crowd surfing, and everyone is holding him up, and we are that. And sometimes it's Beto that we're holding it up, and throughout this entire weekend, sometimes it's been each of us. We've all taken our turn crowd surfing, and this crew has lifted us all in each of these moments. And even for those of the family that are not in Iowa with us right now, we're all still connected. Like,
yeah, Twitter's a crazy thing.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Twitter and Facebook and how many people's personal cell phone numbers that I have across every.
Right.
Like it's great.
People that I wouldn't be attached to in any other case if it wasn't for Beto. And I have a question for you because this has kind of been on my mind since you said it. How the fuck does a plane not have a captain? Like, what happened? Like,
I don't know. Like
she's just
gone. We have a first officer, but we don't have a captain.
What happened to him?
Fuck it, that's exactly us right now too. We don't have a captain. Like it's literally my day yesterday was training me for the moment I was about to walk into. And like I didn't find out about the campaign until I arrived at the rally, and Melissa, like I walked over there and I said, something's wrong. Like you could feel it. And yet I had just walked by New Hampshire staff with zip ties attaching signs to cars. So
yeah, I heard that too.
Heard that. Like they hadn't even heard yet. And so it was like I walked over and I'm like, do you need me to sign in? And I just looked, I was like, what's wrong? And but you still have to go through the motions. You're still pulling this in because he wasn't there yet. And she handed me her phone and she showed me the alert. And it was this moment of like, there's this shared knowledge of like, it wasn't out there yet. Because at this rally, as people were gathering, like nobody was looking at their phones. Nobody was, not a single person, because we were all there. Like in a moment in 2019 where literally we can sit here on these couches and everyone's looking at their phones. But in a moment in 2019, we were gathered in a public place and everyone was so happy to be together that not a single person had their phone out. And we didn't know. Like we didn't know. And it was crazy.
I bet. I didn't find out from my phone either, and I find out everything from my phone.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah.
It's been very surreal.
It is. I still feel like I'm living in an alternate reality. But like
exactly. I worked on Virginia ballot petitions, man. That was my entire life. Like, what the fuck do I do now?
So my house right now is filled with zines. And
yes, I loved that, by the way.
Thank you. And guess what? I'm not stopping it. Like, I'm not stopping it because I already had submissions for issue 2. And, like, this is, like, we need to keep the roots growing. Like, we need to
Absolutely.
bigger, and we do that. But it's like, yeah, like I have zines all over. I have Beto stress balls and cups and like everything. What do I do with a life-size Beto? What do I do with a life-size Beto cutout? I mean, you just keep it, I guess. But
You put it in the window like in 3 Men and a Baby, and then when people watch your film,
like those little, like the little kid at the sliding door, it's creepy.
yeah,
It is so creepy.
yeah, yes. Whoever would have thought 3 Men and a Baby would have eked its way into the
But
Looking Ahead to
of course
Better
it
Days
did.
podcast, but it fucking did.
Of course it did, because this is Gen X, man. Like,
Yeah, right.
how many times did you go back and watch 3 Men and a Baby? Be like, there's a ghost in the no, it was the producer's son, but there's the ghost in the sliding door of 3 Men and a Baby, man.
Yep. Nope. Exactly. That's. I love movies. I love movies. I love that we got to this point on here and we can just talk about
I'm
shit.
sorry.
But we're not stopping either. Like we're gonna keep going. Like we've put so much time and effort into this.
Wait.
The whole
Wait,
thing
listen.
isn't over.
Here's what I'm gonna say too. I'm gonna also just keep going with this pop culture reference and keep it going in that 3 Men and a Baby. And I just thought to myself, where's Steve Gutenberg when you need him, right?
He's on the Goldbergs.
Yeah. So, but here's we go. But then that made me think of Police Academy. And then that made me think of Police Academy 4, which was called Citizens on Patrol, right? Remember when they made that program where they're just like, yeah, we're going to let people be cops, right? That's kind of what we need to do right now. Be citizens on patrol. Like, we actually have to, like, all right, like, I told you I can always bring them together. I can thread it together, which is why the zine's called Connect the Dots. It might take you a minute, and it might take me actually 20 minutes, but I can thread it together. But that's really like, so wait, we have the plane with no captain. We have the first plane though, they were boarding and then they had to stop boarding and they're like, why do we have to stop boarding? And they're like, we don't know, they're not telling us, but we can't board anymore. And then they said, something's wrong with the plane, we need to do emergency maintenance, and the plane's not going to leave for another 5 hours. Well, that's what I walked into when I got here. Again, we don't know exactly what happened, but I trust Beto. I trust this man that I've come to learn and know and love and trust, that whatever the reason was, we couldn't continue to let this plane fly off the ground.
Yeah, it would have been real bad.
Yeah, and so I trust that. I trust that man. And I appreciate doing that. I appreciate, like, even though it's so painful in so many ways, like, it's also eye-opening. Like, it's like, it sucks, and then we're just like, this is what we have to do. Here's where we are. Here's where we are.
And we just keep moving. I mean, like he'll be back with
Drive.
something, and we
drive.
we keep going. We drive.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for taking the time out and hopping on with
Totally.
us.
Totally. Absolutely.
We'll talk to you later.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. Take care.
Take it easy.
All right.
I want you to know something
What's that?
as far as the witty banter. So tonight, Hannah and I went to a Halloween party. We took
Okay.
Bodhi, and our costumes for Halloween, as some of the people in the DM saw, was Bodhi was a dinosaur. Well, Thursday night, I was Sam Neill, and Hannah was Laura Dern. Well, tonight for this party, I was Laura Dern, and she was Sam Neill, and I am still dressed as Laura Dern as we record this. I thought everybody would appreciate that. I didn't think about it till I was like messing with the shorts and like shorty shorts, and I'm like, oh yeah, like I have like a. I don't know what she called this shirt. There's your witty banter for this one. Who's
There you
next?
go.
We got anybody
All
else
right,
lined
All
up?
right, let me go find somebody. Hold on 1 second.
Talking to myself. So, in the vein of while he's going to find someone else, and you guys are listening to me talk, and most likely I will possibly edit this out, depending on how long he takes, give or take.
All right. Just put the headphones on and say hi to Chris.
All right, here we go.
Hi, Chris.
Hi. Who is
How are
this?
This is Crystal.
Crystal. Oh, hey, hi, Crystal.
Hey, hi, Chris.
He didn't. I got. I didn't. He didn't tell me who was coming on. I just heard a voice. So
Oh,
how are you? How are you doing? Like where are we at? Where are you at over there, in Iowa?
are you talking about us collectively or me myself?
You yourself, and then everybody collectively.
Where am I at? I don't know where I'm at. I think I'm still trying to figure that out. I wish I had an answer for that because I feel like I'm trying to answer that myself so that I can just say that I'm okay. It's rough.
It's definitely been rough. I know exactly where you're coming from, having just like dedicated so much time, and like I've been working on Virginia ballot petitions, and like what do I do now? Like what's next? So I'm right there with you.
We actually, some of us had tickets to head out to Long Beach next month to go be at the Democratic delegate event. So, I mean, this came as a shock for a lot of us. And I mean, I speak for myself, but I mean, I adore Beto in a totally platonic, I want this guy to be president, kind of way.
Yeah.
And I was ready to go down fighting, swinging for this guy. But I just didn't think that would be anytime soon. Not today, not tomorrow, not this month, so it's definitely a shock.
Absolutely. And and what I keep telling everybody, and what kind of the theme has been, is our work's not over. Like it wasn't just Beto, it was kind of all of us.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what like really hurts the most, and it just, that's what sucks the most. But we have so much work to do, and like so much, like think of how many skills we've all gotten just from doing the things that we do for the campaign that a lot of us had never done before.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. I think while I agree with you, I think it's also hard because a lot of us were pushing through this and justifying what we were doing in the hopes that the end result would be the reward for all of the sacrifices we're making now, which makes it,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, it just makes it a lot more painful to see that we don't have a reward. Living in Texas specifically during Beto's Senate campaign, I myself was extremely eager and motivated to fight for this man who I felt had fought for us. And to feel defeated, like I wasn't able to help him as much as he helped us, it's a dark cloud. It's a very heavy feeling.
It's very sobering,
Yeah.
to say the least. Especially when you're so confident. Like the confidence level within the campaign never really waned. Like we all, like if you asked a Beto supporter, do you think Beto's gonna win? Yes, no, absolutely. It's
I do think he could have, and I really, to this day, do think he could have. I think,
100%.
yeah, I think a lot of us on the inside, who aren't just sitting behind Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, those of us who are knocking on doors, who are making phone calls, who are getting involved, who are listening to people, we know that this was possible, but it takes more than just a solid dozen. Like we needed people out here with us. So it's just extremely disappointing that we didn't have people who are as motivated and eager to make this happen with us. The people who weren't willing to go down saying we did everything we possibly could have to make this happen.
Absolutely. Now, it's like I said, we definitely want to. We've gone down swinging, and like I feel like I've got nothing left. Like we left it all on the table. People fought for this. You guys traveled. Like going from Texas to Iowa is no small feat.
No, and no small feat either.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because it snowed its ass off there too. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Katrina sent me the pictures. That's a lot of snow.
Well, I'm from the East Coast, so that to me was like, I don't even know if you call that snow where I'm from, but I suppose from a Texan, I'll take it.
Right. Hey, I'm in Virginia. If it snows an inch, we're out of school for a week. So I saw that snow and I was like, oh God, that sucks.
That's so
Out there with a
funny.
blowtorch.
Oh God, I
Yeah.
think we get like 3-5 inches, and it's like, okay, kids, see you at the bus stop. Like it was like no big deal. So it's so
That was,
to hear that.
that was not my experience. That was not my experience at all. If it snowed a little, like, because I teach, so if it's like it starts to snow, I'm like, all right, if it can just go for maybe an hour, I get at least a 2-hour delay. If it goes for 2 hours, I'm staying home tomorrow.
That's so
It's the teachers will tell you we do not look forward to snow days. We look forward to snow days. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
yeah, I'm sure, of course.
But thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for like opening up about this. We're getting a lot of different angles and perspectives, and everybody's is important. And I really appreciate you sharing that with us.
Absolutely, Chris. It was lovely talking to you.
You as well. Take it easy.
Okay, you too. Bye. Here's Ryan.
All right, I'm here.
All right. Wow. I'm sorry for coughing into the microphone, but it was cough and cough directly into it, or turn quick and cover. It's getting cold, so my allergies are starting to act up. And
Yeah, change of season always does it for me too. It's bad right now.
yeah, real deal fucks with me. So yeah, well, we've hit all of the emotions here.
Yeah. Like guys, I think we've hit all the stages of grief.
We've definitely hit all of the stages of grief. I just want you all, everybody out there who's listening, I want you guys to know that we're definitely going to keep this going, and there's definitely going to be more to come.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
And you know what? Look, we're not going to do the official sign off now because there very well might be more material.
well,
for this
hold
episode.
on. Well, there is material.
Yes, there
We
is.
got Charlie Hodges. So why don't we just go ahead and introduce him? Running for state senate in Iowa. I got this interview with him before Beto made his announcement. So yeah, why don't we go ahead and hear from him right now? So I am sitting here with Charlie Hodges. You might remember Charlie Hodges from our State Fry episode. He came on and talked to us about caucusing and the whole caucus process. And since then, you've had some pretty exciting news and things happen. So tell us, what are you doing nowadays?
Yeah, being inspired by a lot of the people that I've been around, especially with Beto, and wanting to take action myself. I'm getting off of the sidelines, and I'm running for state senate in Iowa for District 20.
District 20, so state senate. So that's state senator.
Yes.
What is District 20? Like what how big is it? What does it encompass?
Yep. It's in the northern Des Moines metro area. It encompasses part of Urbandale, Johnston, Grimes, and then a section of northwest Polk County as well.
Okay. And like what's like the demographics and people like, and what would your constituents look like in that area?
Yeah, it's a fairly typical, suburban area. You know, I mean, there are definitely some more affluent areas than there are in Des Moines proper in the metro. Okay. But it's an area that has traditionally been more Republican.
Okay.
It's starting to turn blue. We have
what's causing it to turn blue? What's kind of driving that shift?
Yeah, I think that the positions that the state legislature has been taking on a lot of issues that are important to people has definitely had part of it. We've actually, within the state, we've privatized Medicaid, which has caused significant problems, changing that over to for-profit companies. And the cost savings that they've talked about with that are coming in the form of decreased availability of services, poorer service, instead of
savings
of equal service and savings.
Right,
I mean, we could have kept administration with the state and slash services if they wanted to do it that way.
Right.
We didn't need to privatize to do it. So that's a big issue. There's a very large mental health crisis in the state as well, and cutting of funding for that, cutting of funding for for women's health services. A lot of those things that people really feel in their everyday lives.
So it really sounds like kind of healthcare is the major driving motivator for a lot of voters
Yep.
here, especially in the district you're going to be representing.
Yep, exactly. I mean, healthcare and school funding are your typical issues, but and as we're also seeing with Moms Demand Action and some other organizations such as that, we're starting to see some movement among kind of the suburban mom group on gun control as well. So that's actually going to be one of the planks of my campaign is sensible gun control.
All right, well, so let's talk about your campaign. So you're obviously running for state senate. Let's start with what are your main issues that you're running for?
Yeah, one of them that I'm running for is definitely public safety, including gun control. We have a Republican legislature and governor that have really been working on relaxing a lot of our gun laws, increasing open carry, making gun sales easier, things of that variety that are not necessitated by public demand or need by any means, and yet every session there's an additional relaxation of those laws, and we need to roll back those. I'm a believer in the Second Amendment. I have a lot of friends that are hunters, that are gun enthusiasts, but we need to be sensible about it. We don't need to put through resolutions that allow parents to open carry in school districts and things like that are happening right now. So we need to cut that off.
Okay, and you're talking about healthcare. What kind of things would you like to see change at the state level around healthcare?
Yeah, and I think as far as healthcare goes, I mean, the big thing is we either need a complete overhaul of the privatization model, or we need to go back to the state administration of it because it's been a big failure. We need to actually properly fund mental illness healthcare. My proposal is to actually use money from my proposal to decriminalize marijuana, to actually use some of those funds to restore some of the funds that we've lost to mental health care. I think we need to have regional mental health care centers, clinics where people can actually go and get help, regardless of their insured status, have that available in rural areas as well, because we're seeing a large increase in death by suicide in rural areas as well.
I heard you mention marijuana. You're also proposing to legalize marijuana then as well?
Yes, I am. I was actually passed a resolution to legalize hemp production to help provide an additional crop for our farmers. I think that we need to carry it a step further and actually decriminalize marijuana. I think that if you use a model similar to what Colorado has used for how they're using the tax revenue for it, there's a lot of good that we can do for schools, for funding that's been cut from a lot of other areas with
let's
that.
Talk about schools for a second, because that's a big issue, and that's like you said, these are the kitchen sink things that people actually care about more than anything else. How is a school funding in Iowa handled? Because in Texas, it's kind of a convoluted, effed up system. I found that most states are kind of similar, similar levels of dysfunction. So what are the big challenges with school funding in Iowa?
Well, I think, especially in some of the suburban areas, there's been such growth in the suburbs that there's so much of the funds that actually go into the physical plants and things like that instead of programs, and just generally, the funding just hasn't kept up with the programs that we need in additional to the buildings. Right. It's not just the buildings that make up a school. Even in some of the suburban districts, there's a deficit on, and of course, special needs always gets hit first with things, and even schools that are well funded, because real estate taxes and sales taxes and other things
so do you think
go
it's
into
an issue
that.
Of funding priorities among the school districts, or do you think it's more of that the state's not providing? Where is the?
Yeah, I think that, for example, last year we had a pretty large surplus in the budget, and it's why didn't we invest that back into the schools? And I think that there are just smarter things that we can do with the budget. Watch where we're giving out, tax benefits to certain companies and things. And I think that there's a lot more that we can do with budgeting. But I also think that with the plan for decriminalization, that provides an extra stream of tax revenue.
Right.
to us without having to raise income taxes, which are, I don't like my income taxes to be raised either. So,
Right.
An additional
Well,
stream.
you actually have an
and
income tax. We say we don't have an income tax.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
So without having to do anything, there'd be unpopular on both sides.
Sure. But what do you think about charter schools as far as a solution to?
I'm not a huge fan of charter schools. I think that especially in Iowa, we have a lot of flexibility with open enrollment and different things, and as far as charter schools, vouchers, and things of that variety, I think that we need to put the investment back into the public schools. I know that there are, if you do vouchers, I know that there are private schools in the area that when it comes to like handling special needs kids, they still come back to the public school system because they don't have the ability to handle those kids. So it's like, why are we providing vouchers and money for schools when it'll just come back anyway, and those funds could be used better to make our public schools better.
Yeah. So if you were to be elected, would you be entering in, do you think, the majority party or the minority party?
I think that there is an opportunity for us to be able to flip the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the House has been turning bluer lately, so I think that we probably have a little bit better chance in the state House to flip it, but I still think there's a chance in the Senate, and I also think that the particular seat that I'm running for, State Senator Zahn currently, I think that by replacing him in particular, he actually spearheads a lot of initiatives that I really don't agree with on a number of the issues that we've already talked about.
Okay, so let's talk about your opponent for a second. Well, first off, you're running for the primary.
Yes, I am.
Right, you have an opponent in the
Yes,
primary
I do.
who's already, I guess, declared and has a campaign going. What differentiates you from that? Well, who is it, and what differentiates you from them?
Sure. Yeah. I'm actually running as Rhonda Martin. She's a city councilwoman in Johnston, one of the towns in the district. And I actually reached out to her, and we sat down and talked through the issues. And Rhonda's great. She's a very good advocate for mental health care, which I am as well. In the discussions, it sounded like she probably wasn't going to make gun control much of a plank in her campaign. As well as decriminalization, and I'm also very strong on the union side, where we've had some legislation passed that restricted public unions' rights to collectively bargain, that have affected teachers and all public employees. And I not only want to roll that back, but I actually would like to go back and take a look at Iowa's 1947 right to work law, which has been handicapping unions for 70 plus years. So I think I'm probably a little stronger on the union side. And again, Rhonda supports unions.
Sure.
I'm part of why I'm running is that I do kind of want to push the envelope on some of these issues, because I think we have an opportunity with what's happening in the Republican Party to be bold.
Sure.
So.
And it was one of those things, more voices in the race.
Exactly. Exactly.
Good.
Because whoever comes out of the race, I think is going to be really vetted and ready to be able to defeat Senator Zahn. And Rhonda was great. We talked about it. And if she comes out ahead, I'm going to support her with everything
I've got.
Not at all. Not at all. She's been great. She wished me well in my campaign, and I wish her well as also.
Awesome. So, but your primary opponent, or you're not primary, your main opponent in the general election, you said is what was his name? Senator
Zahn.
Zod?
I thought Neil before Zod.
That's
no,
what I heard.
no, it's
no,
sorry, it's Zahn. Z-A-U-N.
Okay. I prefer Senator Zod. I think that's better.
That could be really scary. Although I don't know.
You can take that for a campaign ad.
You do not need to kneel before Zod.
Put you in a cage with Superman and stuff.
I don't think anybody wants to see that.
So you were talking about, though, he's kind of one of the ones who instigates a lot of the stuff that you really think.
Yeah. Because he's really pushed for the relaxation of gun control. I know he's actually carried in the State House before. he's a proponent of a lot of the restrictions on unions that's happening. One thing that he's been public about recently is he wants to take away tenure for professors at all of our state universities.
What?
Yep.
Oh
yep.
boy.
Yeah.
That's some serious problems.
Yeah,
there.
and it's just because one theme that I'm going to be making on the campaign trail that'll be part of my stump is that Iowans are familiar with the concept of erosion from farms, right? What happens with soil, but what's happening in Iowa is there's erosion happening across the board, right? Mm-hmm. Our union rights are being eroded away, funding for mental health care, women's health initiatives. It's like all the things that we hold dear are just slowly being chipped away at until we're going to wake up one day and not have anything left.
Right,
so,
right.
I think that if we can certainly replace someone who's been pushing for some of the more extreme measures that have been happening in the legislature, I think it'll be a good thing.
So what's his support like? I mean, with the last election, how much of a margin?
Yeah, I don't know offhand what the exact margin was. I think he probably won like 10 points or so. I mean, he's done well.
Incumbents
overall.
are always hard to unseat.
Yep, exactly. And the district has been traditionally pretty red, but 2018 saw a change in that. Hillary actually won the district by several points. So there's definitely movement in the purple to blue in the district, and especially with how disastrous the Medicaid privatization has been. Where people are starting to come out on gun control and where he's out on gun control, that this is definitely an opportunity to try and get someone new in there.
Awesome. So just curious, because I'm always fascinated by when someone decides to run. I mean, you kind of said what your inspiration was, but what was like the process? Like when you said, okay, you woke up at that morning at 9 o'clock, you said, I'm going to run. And then at 10 o'clock, what did you do?
At 10 o'clock, I told my wife about it. And then when we started speaking, when we started speaking again 2 weeks later, no, I'm just teasing. Once I decided that I was going to run, I contacted the Polk County Democrats.
Okay.
And talked to them about it. I talked to them about what my platform would be, and gave them a list of, where I stand on the issues and everything, just to kind of show them how serious I am about the issues, even though I'm new. And from there, it was just, there's a lot of things you have to do as far as setting up things for your campaign finance and things of that variety.
As far as guiding you through.
They were fantastic. It's like. They had a race that they weren't going to have to primary and everything. So they certainly could have been less encouraging. They were all fantastic.
That's awesome.
So the process has been actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
Okay. And how is it? I mean, were you active with the Democratic Party prior to that?
Yeah. Actually, we just moved into the district 1 to 2 years ago. So I've started to go to some of the Urbandale Democrat meetings because that's the town that we live in to get a feel for what's going on. I'm supporting a couple of Democratic candidates for the Urbandale City Council, so I've definitely been getting more involved, and then obviously I've been
decided.
Yep, exactly.
That's awesome. Thanks for sitting down and talking with me.
Yeah, you bet.
Really
Always.
Appreciate it, and I wish you all the luck. Real quick, let's plug your website. What's your website, and how can people get to you?
Yeah, it's just go to Charlie for Iowa. No, actually written out, not the number 4. Charlie4Iowa.com. And the website has my biography, where I stand on the issues, and FAQ as far as why I'm running. My personal story, which I have a lot of personal experiences on the issues for which I speak.
Sure.
So I definitely encourage people to look into that, and they can get to the Act Blue site to make a donation on that site as well.
Okay. Do you have any big campaign events coming up?
Actually on November 23rd in Urbandale at Gio Vanetti Shelter. I'm going to be at noon. I will be having my my official campaign and fundraising kickoff then, and otherwise I'll be hitting the circuit with a lot of the local Democrat meetings to give people an idea why I'd like to earn their vote.
All right, great. So I look forward to seeing you out in the trail, and we look forward to hearing from more. Thank you very much for talking with me.
Yeah, you bet. Hey, come back to Iowa. We'll talk soon.
We will. So absolutely. Actually, I'll phone you, and we'll do a follow-up interview a month from now and see how it's going.
All right, sounds good.
Great. Thank you.
You bet.
All right, thank you. Don't forget, down ballot candidates are super fucking important.
Yeah, and that's something you can focus on. I mean, look around locally, see if there's somebody, you can hook up with. I know since I'm in Houston, I'm going to be probably trying to hook up with Marcella some and, maybe see if we can get involved with him a little bit more. We'll see what we can do.
Absolutely. He's got a big election coming on Tuesday. I know this episode is going to air and launch after that. But Marcel, I can't tell you as of right now if he won or lost, but I can tell you that he's definitely made a change.
Yeah.
To this point, he's a great young man, and you know what? More power to him. I hope if my predictors are right in my brain, I'd say he won.
I hope so.
Yeah, me too. So let's go ahead and sign out the show. While this isn't going to be the last time, this will be the last time as a campaign unit. But that doesn't mean it's over. While we might not necessarily have to donate and volunteer for Beto, we can still get out and donate and volunteer for the world because we have a world to save. Do we not, Ryan?
We absolutely do, 100%.
And you know what we're going to keep on doing, Ryan?
We're going to look ahead
to Beto days.